welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. It's been a long time indeed. The last wild camp I was on was in Snowdonia, and similarly we had good weather on that one. We've had a massive period of dry weather, hot, sunny here in the UK. We've got a bit of a high pressure block, which is absolutely fantastic, apart from for my lawn and probably everyone else's. But yeah, it's absolutely brilliant to be back outdoors. I've absolutely been missing it. I've been revising, studying, I've had an exam, and home life as always, really busy, juggling a million and one things and not having any time to get outdoors. I always feel the pinch when that's the case. This is my outlet for stress, and just to relax. So when you can't do that, it's obviously not a good thing. However, yeah, feeling fantastic because we're here back in the great outdoors. Loads of fellow hikers out today in shorts and little tops, and I've put the kecks on because I don't want to be tick infested when I get to the spot that I've got in mind. I'm going to crack on, take it nice and slowly with this pack, and I don't want to be blowing out my backside. I just want to, you know, take it easy on this one. I don't want to just roll into camp like a complete and utter wreck. So I'll speak to you in a bit. So this particular mat is dual-sided, so if one side happens to deflate, you've got a whole other series of cells on the opposite side. So we'll see how this is. Get it inflated. It's quite undulating, the terrain that I'm on. It is what it is, but we'll see how this irons out the bumps throughout the night. The sleeping bag I'm using is by Nordisk. It is the Passion 1. and that's what I used on the wild camp with my mates a good few months ago in the Lake District now. It was, well, it's a tiny bag. It's a lightweight bag for summer use. All this warm weather, I thought it'd be a little bit more suited to using on this trip. So yeah, absolutely tiny. I've never ever had a sleeping bag which packs down this small. If I do get a bit chilly, I always complement it with this, a cozy cover, a little bit of a top quilt. Not tons of insulation power. I've had this for probably over 5 years now, but you know, getting that first and then getting the main bag or vice versa doesn't really matter. So that is it, yeah, for sleeping bag. Insulated jacket. I've got I've got a meal that I'm actually going to cook today. It involves a fresh ingredient. Yeah, I'll keep you in suspense. So that is even a meal a little bit later on. Cookware, Titan kettle for brews and things like that. I've got my stove in here, one I haven't used for a while, Cobaltum by Eiffel Outdoor Equipment. That all nests very nicely in this 900ml Titan kettle, very handy indeed. Bit of a titanium 450ml mug, works really well, and what I like is that it has this rubberized band around the circumference where you drink from, and it just saves you scalding your lips. You don't have to wait until your drink's cool, you can just get straight into it. So that is it, absolutely glorious weather, views straight across there to one of my favourites, Pendle Hill. We've got a couple of nice beers, and I'll show you them later on, and let's go and have a look at the tent around the outside. So the guy that designs pre-tents, he designed this. Pre-tents are really good. Anyone that knows their tents knows that they are very well designed, very well thought out, very practical and clever and innovative designs. 2 doors, but you can only use one when you've got the inner, so the whole back of the tent zips off and stuffs into a pocket, and so does the front. I'll do that shortly. You can pitch it with just the fly, so a really lightweight shelter, and like I say, you can zip off the whole front of the tent. So it's got, you know, a generous vestibule, porch, whatever you want to call it. Certainly room enough to cook in there. We're going to be testing that theory out. A little tiny bit of protection for when you deploy the tent with the doors zipped away, which I'll show you. There's pockets on each side where you can stuff the door into, just in there. That's what I'm going to be doing. The DAC poles, DAC Featherlight poles, they're 8.5mm poles, and the pegs are DAC as well, so it's got some good quality components. Guy lines are all Dyneema. You've all got the decent line locks as well. You can operate these types with one hand, even when you've got gloves on. You know, there's a little bit of a knack to it, but there you go, that's all you need to do. They're not slipping. You know, the doors, they've got reinforcement, same around the pole arch. It's reinforced, much stronger fabric, and the stitch in there is nice and robust. The fly sheet doesn't come all the way to the floor. Some people don't like that. I personally don't think this is a 4-season tent. I think it's a 3-season tent, and to me that is not an issue, and it's great for airflow. You've got a bathtub there anyway, so that doesn't matter, it's not an issue. And of course you can tighten it. You've got these buckles here, and bring that slightly lower. You can also peg it as well. You can peg it out a bit, so you're nicely away from the inner tent there. And of course I've got the footprint underneath it just to protect it. Seam sealing, you can get it done at the factory. Slightly more in terms of cost, and it obviously delays your order. However, it's always worth doing. Sometimes you don't have to do it, you get lucky with the stitches. But yeah, the flaps on the doors, they're held in place by Velcro. So there you go. You can open that back out. I don't see what that's for unless you're just using it as a shelter, because you can't get out of the inner at the back. So yeah, it's a nice tent. I do like tunnel tents. I grew up with tunnel tents, and yeah, it's a nice colour. I'll leave the full specs, anything I've missed out or forgot to mention, below the video. But yeah, in terms of the wind, it's absolutely blowing a hoolie. So it's doing well. I've obviously got it pitched correctly into the wind. It's taking it straight on. But what I'll do now is I'll unzip the front of the tent. It will be like a big giant balloon taking the air into it there, but it's nicely pegged down, and I'll just show you you know, the way you get the views when you've got it deployed in that configuration. Well, I always forget how relaxing it is. It kind of becomes lost, doesn't it, sometimes? And then when you finally get back out, you're all done, you know, and I'm just sitting in front of a tent, getting that sun on my face. You forget how relaxing it is and how beneficial it is to you. You just get swept along with life. So yeah, it's been a great couple of hours. Really quiet spot, having a good look around the tent and just looking out at the views, but time's getting on a little bit, so I think we are going to open the first beer. And yeah, I'm starting to thinking about tea, but we're not quite there yet. So we're on this. It's the large can of Cocoa Wonderland. I remember a good few years back, and I will link that video above, going on a group camp with some good friends that I met via YouTube. Mark, Mullion Vagrants, Becca, Muddy Bootlaces, and Josh, who, you know, we went out, did a bit of a hike, bit of a camp in the South Lake District, and I got them all a can of this, and I think they liked it. It seemed to go down well. We had a great time, and yeah, if you're interested in that one, I'll flash the video up right now. Very rich, a little bit of a dark aftertaste on that. But yeah, Thornbridge, from the brewery that made that amazing Jaipur IPA, always goes nice with a curry. So nothing else to do, I'll spin you around, enjoying that, looking at me tent, because I like things like that. And that is it, the Bowland Valley. Fantastic. And look at that, that is all we've seen for weeks. Nobody's complaining, I'm not complaining, and if you are, I don't want to know about it. Cheers, folks. It's a nightmare, isn't it? Because I've got the big camera. I'm just trying to get this in the right position. Bit of an ad lib on this one. Right, it's about time for our evening meal, and breaking from tradition, I've gone with something which requires cooking, some raw ingredients, but don't get too excited. We haven't gone too extreme. What we have got is a courgette. Always comedy. We've got a bit of smoked sausage and some egg fried rice. So that is the extent of my culinary adventure on this one. You know, it's better than doing what I always do, isn't it? I always have one of those dehydrated meals, so I thought, you know, I'd try and mix it up a little bit. So that's it. I got myself a frying pan, Saw this on someone's channel that I watch, and he said it was good, so I went ahead and bought one. It's by Primus or Primus, and it's their yeah, it's like a nice non-stick skillet. You can just see the coat in there. It's absolutely, yeah, I've used it a couple of times in the back garden. You just lock it out, it's nice and stable. So I am going to be frying up some smoked sausage, courgette, egg fried rice on the Cabaltum stove. So I can't wait. Obviously, quick word of warning with the weather we've been having, the ground is like a tinderbox, so I've got myself a reflective foil mat which I'm actually going to put the stove on, and under that just belt and braces. It's like a leather, it's one of them Trekkers Ultra Force things, so the ground isn't going to get burned. Common sense, some people are devoid of it. Just use it when it's like this. Sometimes it can be an oversight, can't it? And before you know it, especially with the breeze and the, you know, prevailing winds, it's like next minute the whole fell side to be on fire. So just be really careful when you've got, you know, stoves and naked flames when the conditions are like this. Right, it's about time to get chopping. A lovely Swiss Army knife that I got when I was with the kids. It's a lovely shop in Beaumaris. I got it from there, and yeah. Right, I'm hungry. It's time to get cooking. This is adventurous for me, so yeah, you just have to get on with it and forget MasterChef until the next time you actually watch it. It's actually really cheap and cheerful. Well, it's very tasty, all jokes aside. It's a simple dish for the mountain. So, yeah, a little bit of oil in the pan. We'll start transferring this. Well, that is it's a little bit better than I normally do, and little Emily got me this bowl for my birthday, so thank you, Emily. Comes in very handy. Let me just put that camera down a little bit. So, egg fried rice with pan fried courgette. The grouse are in agreement, and smoky sausage. Yeah, it's tasty, and it's going to be dead filling for a couple of quid. Why is it going dark? What's going on with the white balance? Bit of double there, courgette and sausage. And as always, before I turn the camera off, we're on that. Everybody good time. Very apt. So, as always, cheers to the great outdoors. It's been long. Hopefully the next one won't wait this long, but cheers everyone. I'm going to eat this. I'm going to eat this in peace without crunching down the camera. and I'll bring you back.
Well, this is what it's all about. I say this every time I come out and I'm sat looking out at the views, and I'll spin you around. It is absolutely for this that I come and do it. This time now, I've got a nice beer. Not everyone likes that, but that's fine. Whatever you want to do, each to their own, as long as you're out enjoying. All I can hear is the grouse, bees, birds passing over, just riding the lift off the fell side like the gliders. But how good is it? The last of the sun is about to dip behind that bank. Well, yeah, I touched upon it earlier. I have had no time to come out while camping. Nothing. Just been absolutely chock-a-block. I've not gone off it. I'm not bored of making videos. Nothing's wrong. I don't get the time that I used to, and work, like I say, is mental. Loads of stuff I'm trying to do in work, and yeah, it's busy times. There was a period in this channel, for anyone that's new to it, where I was making 2 videos a week, something like that. And the reason for that, I was going through a really bad time in my life, which went on for about 2 years, just over 2 years. I didn't see my children at all, nothing, and so all of my time was my own, and it was hell. It was absolute hell. And I used to come out, I was still in work for the most part, but I was coming out 2 times a week, at least every weekend. If not once a week, it was twice a week, and doing this, and this kind of saved me. Obviously friends and family, but this, for the mental torture that was going on, this was a massive thing. And the channel and the interactions, and I mentioned this ages ago, I'm just kind of, I don't know what I'm talking about, to be fair. I'm just mentioning it because people might think you hardly put anything out anymore, and that's the reason why. It's not because I don't want to, it's not because I'm bored. I've not lost any interest. I absolutely love it, and I'm absolutely happiest when I'm outdoors, or it's my favourite thing to do. But I've got my hands full at the moment with Tom and Emily, which is fantastic. We're up to loads of stuff. We got passes for the theme parks, and we love doing that. So the time where it's just me is hardly ever, if not never. So yeah, this is just the way things are at the moment, in terms of the channel, and it will change again. So it's just about making the most of it when I can. I've got a couple of new bits and pieces, but nowhere near at the level that things were at one point. At one point the channel was growing massively. It was flying up, but I'm not actually doing it for that. It was just, as many people say, just a way to store memories, and there's lots of them. There's about 450 odd videos stemming back from 2015. So yeah, 10 years. It's the 10-year anniversary of MCM Outdoors in August this year. Channel's been going for a decade. Christ. Yeah. So fun times, and it's been a laugh, and I'll always be thankful. Like I say, I might even edit this out, but I will forever be thankful for the help that this gave everyone that watched the videos, everyone that left a comment, all that support. I'll never forget that, genuinely. And there's some fantastic camps there, so have a scroll back, see what you think. A lot of the early videos were absolutely insane. it's evolved over time. So yeah, anyway, the sun's about to dip down. Impressed with the tent. That meal was lovely, dead simple. Everything's pretty much cooked, isn't it? You know, heating up a courgette, frying a courgette, but it was very tasty. Couple of quid and it's very filling, that. So Emily, your bowl came in really handy, so thanks. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this light as it fades and changes, and then we'll be hunkering down at some point, talking a bit more nonsense and just enjoying this experience. Final beer of the night, if it focuses. The Heathen Northern Monk. Definitely one to be sipped. Not much to do now, like I say. All the admin tasks are done, we've tidied up. But got me back. Getting old, getting on a bit now, that's it. Aches and pains. I'm at that age now where bend forward to tie my shoelaces and making all these groaning noises. Is this what happens? Can anyone relate to this? I used to be comfortable sitting cross-legged. I could usually sit like this for hours, and I still can to a degree, but Christ, yeah, I'm feeling age just starting to creep up a little bit. I know I'm relatively young, and you're only as young as you feel, aren't you, at the end of the day? I always use this as a measuring stick. Ranulph Fiennes climbing Everest. What was he, like 70 odd, 69 when he climbed Everest? So yeah, that's it just shows you. And a channel that I used to watch about hammock camping, Shug Emery, American fella, I think somewhere Minnesota, I think. Anyway, he knows everything about hammocks. I'm pretty sure he was like 69. He had his 69th birthday. I was watching a video of his the other day. Really entertaining chap, and yeah, he's still active. I suppose it's trying to stay healthy, isn't it? Fit, healthy, stay active, and prolong your time in the great outdoors as much as you can. I've got to be careful because the theme in some of my videos recently has been about age and stuff, and I think I was reminiscing when I was in Snowdonia a few months back. I'm only 43, so yeah, I don't know, sometimes you just get a bit like that, don't you? So yeah, I've got this beer to enjoy. I'm going to stick some podcasts on and listen to that, and you know, if there's any stars, I was going to say I'll show you them. I've never done that in my life. I've done it a couple of times. Astrophotography is not my forte, although this lens would probably be quite good on a time lapse with it. But yeah, I'm gonna drink my beer in peace and listen to some tales of scary Sasquatches, big cats, and weird creatures that roam these moors. So I'll bring you back just before it's light out.
As I walked away, I kept looking around and behind me and checking. After about walking for another minute, the feeling I had of being watched completely disappeared.
Well, good morning. That was a really nice night's sleep. It was nice and warm, too warm in fact. I had to ditch one of these top covers, and yeah, the sleeping bag performed well. It's not very restrictive. It's got a little bit of width to it, so it's nice for me as a side sleeper. And yeah, I was more than warm enough, and that's all that matters. A comfortable night's sleep. The mat, again, I was a little bit surprised because to me it seemed quite thin, but this one has got dual layers, so it's got a top chamber and then underneath a completely independent second chamber. So despite the fact, looking at it and thinking, God, this feels quite thin, when you actually lie on it as opposed to sitting up on it like I do now, it's nice and supportive, quite snug actually. It just cushions around you. I'm a side sleeper, so it was more than comfortable enough for me. Winds throughout the night, it did pick up a bit. It's picked up again obviously this morning. Been round, tighten the guy lines. So in terms of condensation, there's none. The fly sheet is absolutely bone dry. There has been a prevailing wind taking any moisture away. Obviously the fly of this tent does not extend all the way to the ground. That is completely exaggerated there because the ground drops away. However, there is a good maybe inch gap. So there's some good airflow. You've got this one vent at the top bit of a crescent, half moon shape, and then through the tent, same on the inner, and then corresponding half moon crescent vent at the rear of the tent. So it's performed very well. A nice livable space, massive usable porch here. I'm going to get a brew on now, and yeah, the TFS tents Yoto Pro.
The usual, leave no trace, absolutely nothing left, no scorch marks, no litter, nothing. For those that say wild campers are contributing in a bad way, that put content on social media, I profoundly disagree with you. I think wild campers doing it correctly and showing that there's no trace left. You're up in the middle of nowhere. They are people that are showing the right way to do. Stop conflating fly campers and frankly idiots that behave that way wherever they go, let alone in the mountains, with genuine people who enjoy being out, enjoying a bit of peace and solitude, and God forbid once in a blue moon they go camping with a couple of their friends. So that's it, that's all I'll say on that subject. No trace left as always. So I've had a fantastic time in the great outdoors, absolutely loved it. It was fantastic to be back out in a new tent. If you've enjoyed the video, I always ask, unless you've switched off by now, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I love interacting with people. If you've got any questions about anything I've used, just ask me and I'll get back to every single constructive one. So that is it. I'm going to head back down to the car. I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully there's not too much of a gap. So yeah, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.